amid ongoing violence in the streets of the Haitian capital of Port-au-Prince, where armed gangs control much of the city. Haiti's newly installed Transitional Presidential Council convened on April 30th and chose former sports minister Fritz Balazer as the country's prime minister and Edgar LeBlanc Fils, former president of the Haitian Senate, as president of the body. Haiti's unpopular acting prime minister, Ariel Henry, had resigned on April 24th after a coalition of armed groups had earlier blocked his return to Haiti. The seven-member council's mission is to oversee day-to-day governance of Haiti, schedule elections within a year, and prepare for the arrival of a Kenyan police force to quell the violence. Representatives of the United States, Canada, and members of the Caribbean Community Regional Bloc known as CARICOM had met last month in Jamaica on March 11th and established the framework for Haiti's Presidential Transitional Council. Amid growing food shortages, more than 90,000 people have fled Port-au-Prince over the past month. Some 360,000 Haitians have been left homeless in recent years, as battles between rival gangs have destroyed entire neighborhoods. Your reporter spoke with Kim Ives, a journalist and editor with the weekly newspaper Haiti Liberté. Here he assesses the credibility of Haiti's new Transitional Presidential Council and the prospect of another foreign intervention in Haiti's affairs, the third in the last 30 years.
Two groups which have been warring for the past 4 years have come together into a united front called the Vivre Ensemble, the Live Together. And this is really the work of Jimmy Cherizier, this former cop who basically has been moving to the left, moving to a revolutionary position over the past 6-7 years, I'll say. And he managed to cobble together this alliance, which is, of course, very ragtag, very motley, very contradictory, but that was really what brought about the crisis, which really erupted on February 29th. Essentially, the Vivre Ensemble occupied the airport in Port-au-Prince and said, Ariel Henry, you're not landing here, you're not coming back. And that was the beginning of the crisis. That forced Washington to scramble a meeting on March 11th in Kingston, Jamaica. And now with Ariel, who they held on to for too long, they went to the other extreme and they said, okay, we're going to put the entire political class into this 9-member commission they've concocted, which is basically everybody from the left to the right in it. And it's completely dysfunctional. It's a total joke because it can't really work. They're all infighting, fighting among each other, fighting even the groups who have seats are fighting among themselves. And at the same time, the whole condition for them to sit on this council was they had to accept another foreign military intervention into Haiti. This will be the third in 30 years, 1994, 2004, and now again 2024. So the Haitian people are fed up with military occupations. All these people are seen as traitors, including the Famille Lavalasse representative, and that is why you have this incipient, what we call an incipient revolution underway.
Thank you for that, Kim. Explain to our audience, what is the ostensible mission of this Transitional Presidential Council? What are they supposed to be doing in terms of future elections or bringing order to how our media describes the violence and chaos in the streets there in Port-au-Prince particularly?
Well, their official name is the Transitional Commission to bring a peaceful and orderly transition, which is just the most absurd, ridiculous thing. I mean, it's so far past that point. It's really ludicrous, I could say. And their mission is to pick a president and a prime minister to oversee this transition.
There have been reports that U.S. troops and or mercenaries will be taking charge of guarding this new Presidential Transition Council in Haiti. What can you tell us about that? That certainly could be a very dangerous flashpoint in the future.
Well, yeah, absolutely. And in fact, that's, I could say, almost exclusively Haiti Liberté, who came with that story this past week. One of our better investigative reporters, Travis Ross, found this in one of the deep state think tanks. The U.S. end game is they want to get in place a thing called the Global Fragility Act, which is to put U.S. troops on the ground based in Haiti and put the country on an intravenous lifeline of USAID food. But they can't do it by bringing in the 82nd Airborne and doing it and then having them elect a government that invites in the U.S. It would sort of defeat the purpose. They don't want to be as blatant and transparent as they were in 1915. That's how they did it then. So they want to use a proxy force, which is these Kenyans, Benin, Chad, El Salvador, a few other countries, Barbados, the Bahamas, put a blackface proxy force in place to buckle it down, but they can't even get there because this presidential council is so fragile that they need to protect that so the presidential council can renew Ariel Henry's invitation to the Kenyans to come in. So in that little tiny gap, they're trying to figure, what do we do? Do we bring in U.S. troops? That's what former U.S. Ambassador to Haiti James Foley proposed in an op-ed in the Washington Post last month. But another deep state guy called Keith Mines, and that's what we talked about. He proposes mercenaries, or what he calls privatized security forces. And in fact, there was a thing today where the U.S. is giving $1 million to some company to start to bring in security people. So we'll see which way it goes, but it looks like the U.S., as hard as they try, as their empire crumbles, is having trouble even handling the situation in Haiti.
That was Kim Ives, a journalist and editor with a weekly newspaper, Haiti Liberté. Learn more about the ongoing crisis in Haiti by visiting our Between the Lines website at btlonline.org.